Good morning, YouTube. I just woke up from a nap, so this is the third time I'm trying this, so I'm just a little like, what? But anyway, I hope everyone's having a marvelous Thursday. I just wanted to give you all a quick update on what's going on, and this video is also for me, just to like get myself out there and all that. So this is basically my week of just taking a step back and taking stock. Like, am I doing what I thought I should be doing? Is it working? Can I do it better? Should I scrap the whole thing? Just the whole everything. But before I get into that, I want to tell you guys about spoon theory, which was created by a fellow sufferer of a chronic thing, and I'll put an iCard up so that you can go see the original blog post. Basically, it's the idea that everybody has a finite amount of spoons, and these spoons are nothing special. They're literally like the spoons you eat with. So everybody has spoons of whatever generic number, and every single activity you do costs spoons. For the typical person, they have so many spoons that spending a spoon on the little things isn't a big deal. But for people with chronic illnesses and various other things that just affect the number of spoons we have, instead of like 50 or 100 or whatever, we might have 20, which becomes a big deal when, like, getting out of bed costs a spoon, brushing your teeth costs a spoon, eating breakfast costs a spoon, getting to work costs a spoon, working costs like 17,000 spoons. And so when you only have 20, you need to really take stock and evaluate, like, what is important for me to do today, because I don't want to waste my spoons. So that's spoon theory in a nutshell. So oftentimes people with various forms of chronic illnesses will say they don't have enough spoons for something, or complain about spoons in some way. And that's what we're talking about. It's the knowledge that without this chronic thing, we probably could do the thing. But so yeah, spoon theory. So anyway, back to what I'm doing this week. Like overall, I feel like I'm on the right track. Also, I'm sorry, the video keeps bouncing because it's actually balancing on a bunch of blankets and pillows, and I'm in bed. Clearly, that's my headboard. Because I'm cold and I don't want to get up, and I'm tired. So the every time I laugh, the whole thing just moves, which makes me laugh more because it looks funny and it's a thing. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I lied. Anyway, so this whole project going in was to really take advantage of this year and use my spoons to the fullest, and I think I've been really successful with that. I feel like all of the things that I've been choosing to spend my spoons on have been things that make me happy. Even though the projects they go wrong, I get frustrated, they still work, like whatever, but there's still like something I'm enjoying. So I feel like as far as that goes, I'm really, I'm doing like what I thought I should do is what I still think I should do. My biggest obstacle right now is spoons, and like I've been having to manage my spoons for a while. But I had become accustomed to the mental aspect of my depression becoming my primary roadblock. I didn't want to do anything, so I didn't. So I spent all my spoons laying in bed scrolling on the internet, because that's all my brain let me do. And now that my head meds have gotten my brain back to as close to 2020 as I honestly expect is possible with medication, like, I have all of these, like, I feel like a regular person. I feel like the person that I haven't been for a decade, and a person that I didn't realize was missing. And so, like, the mental roadblocks aren't there anymore. But my energy is still at layer I'm doing nothing levels. So I get tired super easily. I really need to take a lot more breaks. And everything just, I feel like I'm in slow motion. And I know part of that is everybody thinks that they can do something faster than real life allows. Speaking of, I just watched a really cool video published by PBS, and I'll put an iCard up there, about just how and why we always think we can do things faster than we actually get them done. I have notes. Lots of notes. Because I realized that most of my editing was because I didn't know what to say, and so I'm prepping instead of wasting spoons when I don't need to. See? I'm already started getting, yeah, So anyway, because my brain is feeling so much better, I'm getting into a lot of trouble. Before, because I was so used to not being able to do anything because of my brain, when my brain did let me do anything, even if I didn't have the energy, I made sure that, like, I pushed through, I borrowed spoons from the next day, like, I got it done. Because I knew that the chances of my brain wanting to do it the next day were impossibly low. So if I didn't do it right then, it wasn't happening. And unfortunately, I still have that mindset of, well, my brain wants to do it, I should take advantage. But because now that my brain is firing at all cylinders, I'm still pushing through because my brain is now, like, almost always wanting to do whatever project I have planned. And so I push through on Monday to do the thing, and I borrow spoons from Tuesday. And then I push through on Tuesday and borrow spoons from Wednesday to do the thing. And then I push through on Wednesday. And eventually my spoon deficit becomes so great that my body shuts down to protect itself. And when I don't let it, that fail-safe mechanism kick in, I become sick 3 different kinds of ways at once and become useless for a week, which is what happened. So I really need to figure out how to change. I really need to change that behavior so I no longer do such foolishness to myself. So moving forward, I really need to set goals and timelines that allow me to better expand what my spoons are able to do and to use my spoons more effectively. I really need to pay attention to how long it takes me to do things, and not just how long I think they should take. And I need to make sure I know how many spoons things are probably going to take, like, realistically, and make sure that I have spoons set aside for the necessities, like taking a shower and going out to buy groceries. As far as managing my projects, I've been setting daily goals and bonus rounds for myself, and they've been really helpful. I discovered that when I share them on Facebook, I'm a lot more likely to at least attempt to accomplish them. because I have this built-in accountability, and it's not so much that like it's out there so that people can ask me, hey, did you do the thing today? It's because I know personally, like if I tell someone I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And so putting it on Facebook and just like on the internet, like such as this video, is just like it clicks that part of my brain that's like, oh, I really have to do this. So that's been really helpful. Looking back at previous goals, like the daily goals, I feel like overall they've been realistic and have been mostly taking into account like what spoons I have, what else I have to get done that week. If I know something huge is going to come up, like I'm going to hang out with friends on the next day, I'll give myself a smaller goal that day, just so I don't needlessly exhaust myself. But the bonus rounds, which were originally intended as if I happen to have the energy and I feel like doing a project, I can do this. But those bonus rounds have been very vague or very large lump sum things, and they're not things that I realistically could do on a regular basis. And so I really need to make sure that my bonus rounds are as manageable and possible as my goals. And I also need to give myself permission to fail the bonus rounds, because they're bonus rounds. It doesn't matter if they're done or not. It's essentially like a goal from the following week or something. I was like, well, hey, cool, okay, let's start. But because it's on the internet and the accountability is clicked in, I feel like I'm not working like I should if the bonus rounds aren't achieved. So I need to give myself permission to not do them, on top of making sure that they're doable in the first place. So it was a bad combo. So I'm glad that I'm taking this week and just figuring that out, because I don't think I would have noticed it otherwise. Speaking of projects, there are a ton of projects I want to work on. Jazza has a monthly competition. I'll put an iCard over there. That I think would be great, because I want to get back into two-dimensional art. And they're like, he supplies the topic and the inspiration, and then I just do whatever and then send it in and I'm done. And I think that, and it's only one a month, so like I feel like that would be a really manageable thing. But then there's all the other things, like I have a cosplay for Gen Con I want to do. Speaking of Gen Con, like Sunday, the pre-registration for badges starts, and look, I'm wearing my Gen Con event team shirt, and Gen Con's here, almost, practically, in like 8 months. When you think of it that way, it's really funny, but it's almost here. Anyway, so last year, I really wanted to do some cosplays, but I got all my ideas in like July, and Gen Con's in August, so that was not working. So I'm hoping that maybe I can like plan them early enough that maybe I can do them. And then I still have facial prosthetics that like I've made, and like I did it. Like I know the process now, so I can replicate it. But I feel like I used the specific project was for a Vanguard character that I decided I didn't want to play. And the process I used was more for a photo shoot, not necessarily for long-term wear. So I want to remake it anyway, as well as just the project was a learning project, and now I want to like do an applied knowledge project. I have so many Nerf guns to paint. Like, I'm not allowed to buy myself more Nerf guns because I need to paint at least one of the ones I've bought specifically for Vanguard and painting. I started NaNoWriMo 2016, and I failed miserably, but I had a lot of fun writing, and I want to get back into that. not to mention all the half-finished projects I have lying around. Like, I made something for one of my friends, and it was 90% completed in, I think, June. It is still 90% completed, and that's ridiculous. I have my line of historical dolls that I created for Etsy that I'd like to continue working on, but I kept going back and forth about whether I wanted to make an Etsy shop in the first place, and I finally decided I don't, because I don't want a business. Like, I have no intention of being that kind of entrepreneur. One day I'll tell you about the Cupcake Cafe. One day. But anyway, so I decided not to do Etsy, but I still want to do the project, and now that, anyway, so that's there. I still need to remake, I'd like to remake all the worksheets I've made for school, because copyright allows for educational use. But in order to put any of my work on Teachers Pay Teachers so I can share it with other people, it needs to be copyright free or made by me. And I just use pictures on Google, which is not legal for selling because most of those are owned by other people. So there's that. And then I have home improvement projects, which is everything from my makeup drawer is literally just a drawer, and like everything's just thrown in there, which isn't helpful. So I wanted to build some dividers and maybe make it into a 2-level thing, and stuff like that. And I've been living here for a year. I have no intention of moving because I really like this job, and I still have boxes. Like, I still have boxes. So I want to do that. So I have so many projects that I really want to do, but like, there's only 12 hours in a day. And like in the past, I've tried like breaking down, like, well, I have this much time for school and this much time for eating and this much time for work, but it always ends up spiraling. So I'm like, okay, don't focus about the individual hours. Think about, daily progress goals and bonus rounds. So I'm thinking I need to pick like 3 or so extra projects that I can focus on each month. And then dice them up into manageable pieces, and then use the daily goals and the bonus rounds to knock them out. But I realized that I also need to make sure that I can do the non-negotiable projects, or the continual project. I don't know. There's a word. So like I have a new Manera campaign, and it's only once a month, which is really cool. It's not every week because that is exhausting. But I want to make sure that I have the spoons to properly prep for that every month. I would like to set spoons aside for Vanguard because there's always little things that I'd like to do for East or just in general. So this week and for the rest of the month, honestly, I'm focusing on planning. So I really just need to sit down and do the math to make sure that I have the spoons and the time to do the things I want to do. And then make sure I have spoons for things that often get neglected, like the dishes or the laundry or showers. Oh my gosh, my showers. I took one. It's okay. a clean area. But so sitting here, recording this because I'm in my bed, I get to look out at the expanse of my house. It's a flat. I love it. So the expanse of my flat. And, it's a hot mess. So, like, I was complaining to one of my friends the other week, like, it's not at that level anymore, but, like, it looks like there's a depressed person living here. And that, in and of itself, like, brings me down. And I don't need any external stimulus to bring me down. I can do that just fine on my own self. So I think my big project in February is going to managing the flat. I think that's what it's gonna have to be. I'm gonna spend the week, or maybe I already have because this will be out on Thursday. Ew. Chopping down, cleaning my flat, which is mind-numbingly terrifying and overwhelming and into like mini goals, and then chopping those goals down into bite-sized goals, and then chopping those ones down into daily things that can be accomplished, and see what kind of progress I can realistically get in a month, and therefore not spiral because my room isn't magically clean at the end of 4 weeks. If that's just not something that's possible. I think it's going to be my main project. I think I'm also going to try to pick a cosplay for Gen Con and just sketch out ideas and once again like write down everything that has to be done for it and chunk that down to see if it's just even a thing that's possible to do, while still allowing spoons for Numenera and Vanguard and dishes and laundry and getting groceries and eating. I need to make sure I have spoons for eating because that's important. And brushing my teeth. Y'all. Okay. Side note. Sidetrack. Like, spoons are so... It's amazing how many spoons things take me. Like it takes me a spoon to brush my teeth. Like, I think I brushed my teeth twice, like once a week for the last month. Because I just enough. Like, how disgusting is that? But that's my life. Like, that's so obnoxious. Like, what do you mean I don't have energy to brush my teeth? Ugh. Obnoxious. Anyway, I stopped taking notes at this point, clearly, so I'm babbling. Also, I really want to go back to bed, so I think I'm going to do that. But I'll edit this video tomorrow and then post it on Thursday, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super cool, and I'm going to get started on all this planning, and February's going to be amazing, because this month has been amazing. And TLDR, those who haven't actually heard it said out loud, it's like, what? Too long. Didn't read. I'm on the right track. I feel like this month has really let me orient my compass, and so now I know how much wiggle room I have, as long as I'm still on the general direction that I would like to be on. I have a plan to go forward. I have stuff in place to continue evaluating where I've been, and I am awesome. Yeah. Okay. I love you all. Have a marvelous rest of your week. I'm going to go back to bed because I'm just like, ooh. And I'll see you guys on next Thursday. Bye. Whoa. I might leave that in. I might not edit that out.